Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about how you can help those around you. When we talk about self-improvement and spirituality, we mostly think of ourselves and how we want to improve our own lives. But what we don't realize is that being in relationships with others and having relationships with your family members and your friends also affects you. It affects your life because who you choose to surround yourself with absolutely has an effect on your life and how you live it. When you're surrounded by negative people all the time, it tends to pull you down. And when you're surrounded by positive people, it brings you up. So it's absolutely important that we are surrounded by people who are working on themselves and healthy as well. But the problem comes when we have people around us, especially family members, because we don't really get to pick them. Although I guess we did pick them, but you know what I mean. We're stuck with them here. We love our family members, of course, but those can be very challenging relationships. And what do you do when you're surrounded by people who are toxic or negative, or just you can see that you're leveling up and they're not? How do we deal with that? Because it can be really tough and you don't want them to derail your spiritual journey. And unfortunately, sometimes that happens. We go backwards when we're around people who are not encouraging us to be our very best selves. But there are things that you can do. And so today what I want to talk to you about is how to help those around us when they're stuck. Because that's generally what's happening. When someone isn't leveling up and they're not trying to improve themselves, they're just stuck in this place. And I don't know about you, but one thing that really gets on my nerves, and I'm trying to be better about it, but it gets on my nerves when someone is constantly complaining about their life and how they're not happy with it, yet they don't take any action to change that or to fix it. Because when you don't do that, when you're just complaining all the time, you're just becoming a whiner, because it's not doing anything useful to just sit and complain about how nothing in your life is working out. If you want change, you can't speak it into existence. You actually have to do something about it. And that is where, when we are surrounded by people who are choosing to stay stuck and not do anything to fix their lives, it can affect us as well in our own spiritual journey. So how can you help those people? Well, you absolutely can. And I'm going to talk to you today about a couple of things that you can do. The very first thing you can do, of course, is to pray for them and to pray to your angels to work with them and to help them level up. So if you know someone who's struggling with maybe emotional pain, anxiety, and depression, Archangel Uriel is a great archangel to work with, because Archangel Uriel deals with emotional trauma, with healing emotional pain. That is the archangel who does that. So when you work with Archangel Uriel, you may sense or see an amber color. Uriel's name means light of God, and he helps release the burdens of painful past memories. So what I always do is I pray to Archangel Uriel, asking him to come in and surround the person that I love with his beautiful light to heal any past painful memories for this person. And I just totally envision this amber-colored light surrounding my loved one, just completely surrounding it. And I envision that this person's pain is released. And so whether you see that physically as like maybe you see some sort of dark-colored energy leaving their body, whatever you want to do to visualize that, but you can totally hold them in this space of love and light and of Uriel's light who heals. Also, I like to call on Archangel Michael. I love working with Archangel Michael because his name means who is like God, and he is a protector. and he is in charge of protecting us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And he cuts cords to painful past relationships or emotions. So if someone is suffering from pain, it's good not only to call on Archangel Uriel, it's also good to call on Archangel Michael, because he can cut the cords to those painful situations and protect us from having to experience them ever again. So Archangel Michael, his color is like a blue, a royal blue, and sometimes purplish. Whenever I work with him, I tend to see blue. And what I do is I envision, again, Archangel Michael surrounding this person in this blue light that just completely surrounds them, almost like a bubble, and asks him to bring in healing and to cut the cords from any painful past memories for this person. And then another thing that you can do is to envision Archangel Michael doing a cord cutting. He carries with him a sword of healing light, and the sword can cut any energetic ties to people or past situations. Because as I've said before, we carry around sometimes a lot of our past baggage. And if you were to envision what this would look like physically, it would be like carrying around the weight of the bodies of all of the people we've been connected to. It's very heavy emotionally. So it's important sometimes to go through and to cut those cords to the people and past situations. So I usually just envision the person. I envision Archangel Michael taking his sword and running it around their entire body. And you may even want to do it a couple of times. And as he's running his sword around their body, he's cutting the energetic ties to past people, past situations, past problems. And then it's setting those people free, and they feel lighter and freer. And you can do this as many times as you want, and then wrapping them up in his light, protecting them. And you don't have to tell the people that you are doing this for that you're doing it. It's their free will to either accept this healing or not. So if their soul does not want to accept this healing, the soul does not have to. We all have free will, and you cannot infringe your will over someone else. So although you can try to work with people and to heal them, if they don't want to be healed, they're not going to be. That's just the way it is. So you can do all of this, but just keep in mind and know that if this person is hell-bent on being stuck where they are and they don't want to move and they don't want to accept the healing, they don't have to. It is their soul's free will to do whatever they want in this lifetime. But most people, I find, don't really want to stay stuck. They're just not really sure how to get started and how to heal. So by doing these little healing sessions for them, you might be helping their soul to understand that, hey, I can take action. I can change this situation. But again, as you do it, make sure that you keep in mind that if it does not work, you're not a failure. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just that their soul has the ability to decide whether or not they want to accept it. And that's a tough thing because we just want to heal everyone. I know so many of you out there are empaths and you're probably natural healers anyway, and you really want to help people, but not everybody wants to be helped. And that's just a fact. It's the truth. As painful as it is to accept, sometimes some people don't want to be healed. They don't want to get help. So that is one way you can help someone who is going through emotional turmoil. Another thing that you can do that I like to do is to call on that person's higher self. When you call forth someone's higher self, they don't really necessarily know you're doing this, but you can envision the person being in front of you, talk to their higher self. And when we talk to someone's higher self, we're talking to the soul. And so what that means is there's no ego involved. And this is the problem with being in human form, is that ego, the darn ego that stands for edging God out. When we make decisions that are ego-driven, we tend to sometimes really mess up our lives because that ego is based on fear. And fear will tell you all kinds of lies like you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you don't have enough, everyone's going to leave you, everyone's better than you. The ego tells you all of those things, which are just simply not true. When you're talking to someone's higher self, you're talking to this without ego. When we talk to people when they're in their ego, sometimes your words get misconstrued. And the reason that your words get misconstrued is because people put their own meaning to it. And a lot of times that has to do with the fear-based ego. People will think if you make a suggestion to them that you are judging them, that you are picking on them, and that's not the case most of the time. I know that most people, when they want to help someone, they're simply doing it out of love. But that is not always the way that it is taken. Not everybody is able to see that you're really just worried about them, that you care for them. Instead, it feels like you are judging them and you're infringing on their right to privacy and whatever else, you name it. But this is a good technique if you're having a disagreement with someone as well. You can ask to speak to their higher selves, and you can say everything you need to say. And again, when you speak to their higher self, they're going to hear it in the way that you intended it, not with all of the ego filters through it. And you can say what needs to be said, and they will hear it and accept it. And they won't necessarily know you did it, but you will probably start to see a little bit of change in them. I have done this myself. I was having a difficult time with my daughter, and I felt like she didn't understand how much I loved her, and that she really just was very angry with me, and I couldn't talk to her physically face to face because every time I tried, she would just look right through me, and I knew she wasn't even listening or hearing me because she didn't want to. And that's her right. You know, she has a right to not listen. We all do. We all have free will. We don't have to listen to other people when they're talking to us. But that's a hard way to heal if you're trying to fix a situation or work with someone if they're not willing to listen. So here's another way around that. You can talk to the person's higher self. What I usually do is I close my eyes and I just call forth. I ask to speak to this person's higher self. And then I envision that person standing in front of me, and I say what I need to say. So in the case of my daughter, I just said, I hope that you know that I love you more than anything. You and your brother, you are the most important things to me in this world. There is nothing that I wouldn't do for you. You know that I'm a human and I make mistakes, and maybe I don't always handle everything the way that you wish I would, but I'm doing my best, and I do everything I do because I love you. And I just talked to her and I said everything that I wanted to say to her face to face that she wouldn't listen to. And I didn't say anything. I would choose to keep this non-judgmental and not trying to force your will on everything, but just saying what you need them to hear you say. That I love you and I want you to heal. I want you to get help. I want you just to be the happiest person you can be. And that's what I always say to my kids, and what I always pray for my kids is just that they're so happy, because I want them to be joyful in this life. You know, a lot of people pray for their kids and they'll say, let them be successful. Yeah, that's great, but we often miss the most important thing, which is let them be happy. Let them be who they are and who they came here to be. We're their parents, but it's not our job to tell them what they should or shouldn't be. We raise them, but there's a point when they have to go out on their own, and they have signed up to come here on their own mission, and they have their own purpose. We can't stand in the way of that. And their soul knows exactly what they need. So it's difficult, but we have to kind of back up sometimes, give them their space, and just say, I love you and I'm here for you. And if you make mistakes and you fail, know that you're human. We all do that. We all do it. It doesn't make you a bad person. It means that you're learning, and that's what we came here to do. So talk to the person and tell them exactly what their higher self, what you want them to know. So if it's somebody who is not getting help and you need them to get help, or, you know, a lot of people just run on fear. And when people have experienced trauma, they are constantly in this survival mode. The amygdala in the brain begins to be overactive, which is where the amygdala is what decides is something life-threatening or not. And when it's overactive and then the prefrontal cortex is underactive, which is the mechanism in our brain that says, no, this is not a life-threatening thing. This is okay. We're good. You can calm down. But when someone's been through trauma, that part of the brain doesn't work as well. And so it doesn't tell the amygdala, hey, calm down. So everything is fight or flight. So if you've been around someone in trauma, you may wonder why they overreact to everything. It's because they are in fight or flight mode constantly. And studies have shown that 8 to 12 weeks of mindfulness practice actually reverses that. It kind of calms down the amygdala and causes the prefrontal cortex to step up and start working again. But it takes that 8 to 12 weeks of the mindfulness practice, which is those are things like meditation and EFT tappings and mantras and affirmations and doing all of those things. So if you have someone who's going through that, you can, when you talk to their higher self, do some of these things with them. So for example, if you know that they're suffering from low self-esteem, you can say to their higher self, like, you are lovable, you are loved, you're deeply loved, you're beautiful, you're kind. Say all the things that they need to hear, because the higher self will accept it, and the higher self doesn't go, I don't know if that's true or not. The higher self knows the truth, and there's no ego filtering that, going, oh, this is not true, you're just saying this because you have to. So you can say whatever you need to say to the person's higher self, whether you need to talk and tell if you're having a disagreement and you need to tell them how you really feel. And it shouldn't be anything negative, nothing negative. Just as I explained what I did with my daughter, just saying, I love you and I would never hurt you on purpose. So if I did, I am so sorry and I didn't mean to. Say everything you need to say. Or if you need to encourage them to get help. Hey, you're really struggling in life right now, and I'm really concerned for you, and I want to help you. Let's get some help. Let's do what we need to do. So again, you can talk to their higher self. This is great when you have kids, because let me tell you, being a parent is just one of the toughest things ever, and you're not prepared for it no matter what, and you just get thrown into it. And as I say in my book, Beautifully Broken, I talk about how parenting is one of the hardest jobs you'll ever fail, because we all feel like failures at times when we're parents. You go to buy a new car and they give you a 1,000-page manual on your new car, and you have a kid and they're just like, good luck. Great. I think we had to take one class, but it was basically how to change a diaper and getting formula ready. It was not anything that prepares you for the later stuff, which is the most, I think, difficult, which is navigating those waters of raising them and instilling values and dealing with them when they're not doing what you would like them to do. It's just crazy. It's so much stuff. But talking to their higher selves is always a great idea. Like every night, you can call forth their higher self and just say, I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. I want you to be happy. Be your best self out there. Say what you need to say. That is one of the best things you can do for your child, because your higher self contains that knowledge and it's not filtered through the ego. And so we believe it and we understand it. We take it on as our truth. And that is really going to help build up their self-esteem. If you're having difficulty or trouble with a partner, your spouse, and maybe they're behaving in ways that you don't like, or maybe your communication has just been bad, you can ask to talk to your spouse's higher self and just say what you need to say. And again, in a loving way, never being critical or angry. That's not helpful. But just being honest about what you need and in a kind way, saying everything that you need to say. Because again, they're going to take that on as their truth. Another thing I like to do is I always say, you can ask the angels to help give you the words if you need to communicate with someone in person. Because what happens is we say something and it doesn't get taken the right way, because people don't always understand our context or our meaning, and our words get twisted. They get misunderstood, and it causes more conflict and tension. So what we can do is pray to Archangels Raguel and Archangel Gabriel. Raguel is Raguel, and Gabriel Gabriel, and they can help to facilitate better communication. We can ask Archangel Raguel to help us by, Gabriel actually helps us in creating words. So she is the archangel who helps with communication. So you can call on Gabriel to help give you the words that you need to say. Whatever I need to say to this person, because maybe my communication style is different. Maybe I don't communicate in the same way that this person does. And so maybe I need to say it differently. Maybe I need to use different words. So ask Archangel Gabriel to give you the words you need to say in order to facilitate better communication with this person. And then we can ask Archangel Raguel to help the words be understood in the way that it's meant, so that your words are not taken out of context, they're not misconstrued, and that you are being heard in the way that you want to be heard. So this is so very important, and I think that it's all just a great idea to do this anytime you have to have a conversation with someone. Every time I have to talk to someone and I don't really know what to say, I always call on both of them. And the conversation has always gone smoothly. So it's a great tool to use. It works very well. And again, talking to the person's higher self is another great tool. So there are a lot of things that you can do and a lot of tools that you have at your disposal to use to help others. We can't do the work for them, but we can certainly support them and help them and show them, this is what we really need to do. And just by being an example, sometimes we lift others up. But it can be tough if you have someone in your life and you feel like they're just staying stuck and need to get help and they won't do it. So if you have that going on in your life, definitely use some of these tools, and you can pray for them. And just have patience, because sometimes it takes time for these tools to work and you may have to do things more than once. It's okay. Be patient and be gentle with yourself. You are the most important thing right now, and taking care of yourself should be priority number one. Make sure that you are taking time out each and every day to do something kind for yourself, whether that is to go for a walk in nature, take a hot bath, go get a massage, go get your nails done or your hair done, or go to the gym. Whatever it is that makes you feel better, make sure that you're taking time to do that, because you deserve to be healthy and happy and whole. And you're only going to be able to do that by making sure that self-care is a part of your daily routine. All right, guys. Well, if you know someone who would like help and is having difficulty and feels a little stuck, I have so many courses that can help. My 10-day intensive self-love course is just incredible. Oh, and by the way, I have pulled a card for you, so I will reveal that card in a moment. But my 10-day intensive self-love course is only $20, so affordable. It's a great place to start, because we work on getting rid of the negative, limiting beliefs about ourselves. We work on highlighting and using all of the positive qualities in ourselves to our advantage. We work on setting healthy boundaries with people and looking at what healthy relationships look like and how to equally give and take. And we also look at being adventurous, stepping outside that comfort zone, and tapping into your passion and purpose in life. So if that sounds like something you would love to do, go to my website, melissaoatman.com, and you can sign up there. You can enroll from my offerings page, or if you click on the plus sign, if you're on the mobile web page, it will bring up the page for the course itself, and you can go check out what it's all about, what it entails. I also have my Love Your Life course, which talks all about how to work with the archangels, how to work with crystals, how to meditate, how to do tappings. And it is a great course if you're just looking for improving your spirituality overall and building a spiritual practice. This course is amazing. And I've just added, I updated it a little bit, and I just added, if you enroll now in the course, it also comes with 2 one-on-one sessions with me. So you can go to my website and you can check it out. It has its own page as well, or you can purchase it from the offerings page. You can work with me privately one-on-one, also in my 30-day Purpose Intensive. It's a 30-day coaching program that you can work with me privately. We can work on anything you want to work on, whether it's losing weight, getting new jobs, transitioning careers, up-leveling your spirituality and spiritual practices, getting rid of trauma. I have many tools that I use to work with you. We could do past life regression, Reiki. I have now added hypnotherapy to that. So if we need to do a hypnotherapy session to get rid of fears or phobias or past trauma, we can do that. Or if we're losing weight or trying to quit smoking, all of those things we can use hypnotherapy for. So you can go check that out on my website as well. And don't forget to join me. I do a free card reading on Facebook in my group, live Mondays at 6:30 Central. So check that out. So I did pull a card for you today. And the card I pulled is from my deck, Divine Whispers, and it is Heal Your Past. And it's so funny, the universe just aligns everything because I picked the card before I didn't look at it and I didn't know what the topic was of today's podcast. I just picked the card and brought it, and then I started talking about the podcast topic and I look at the card, I'm like, oh, heal your past, of course, this is what it is. Because the universe is very much in sync with everything. So the card reads, there are issues from your past that are affecting your current life right now. The universe is asking you to heal your past. If we don't heal from our past, we will bleed on people who didn't cut us. You have to heal those old emotional wounds if you truly wish to move forward, free from emotional baggage. When we carry old wounds, the effects can spill over into current relationships. When you choose to heal your past, you are not only helping free yourself from old burdens, you are also healing generations of family wounds. You are totally recoding your family's DNA. Allow yourself to let the hurt go. Hurt is too heavy to carry. Heal yourself and break free from the chains of your past today. There is a healing prayer that goes with this card. If you're listening to this now, you can say this prayer with me or you can simply listen to it. Dear Archangels Michael and Uriel, the emotional wounds of my past are affecting my life today. Please help me to heal these old wounds so that I may move forward in my life free from emotional baggage. I ask you to cut the energetic cords to any people, situations, or problems from my past. Allow me to feel lighter and freer. Thank you for helping me heal today. Amen. All right, guys, I hope that you do choose to heal from your past because carrying around those emotional burdens, that's too heavy. You need to let that stuff go so you can live a life that's lighter and freer and happier and easier and more joyful, because it does get that way once you learn to let go and to heal the past. So I hope that you all do that. If you need any help from me, you can work with me. You can always book a discovery call with me. You can do that from my website. You can just go to melissaoatman.com, and about the center of the page, it says book your free discovery call. You can call me and we can talk, and we can figure out together how I can help you. You can also just email me or text me. People do that all the time. I have absolutely no preference as to how you reach out to me. I am happy to talk to you at any time. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you to those of you who do. Thank you for leaving positive reviews on this podcast. If you like this podcast, please share it with others and please subscribe. And please consider leaving a positive review. Also, I want to announce really quickly that I have a contest going on right now. If you have purchased my book, Beautifully Broken, and you leave a review from wherever you purchased it, and you take a screenshot of your review and send it to me, and you can leave a review on all three, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads. You can leave a review at all three places, but if you leave a review and you take a screenshot, I will enter you in a drawing to win a free reading with me. And if you have 3 different reviews, I will enter your name 3 times. It's just my way of thanking you for leaving me reviews, because that is how people find me, and I really appreciate your help with that. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing day from wherever you're listening, and as always, I am sending you so much love and light. Be kind to yourself today, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye, guys.